Nearly 24 hours after a gunman's rampage, the reality of an unthinkable crime finally begins to sink in.
She had gotten shot in the neck, I think.
He don't have no love or he don't have no heart. I mean, he has to go over there and start shooting everybody.
8 people are dead, and the face of a community is forever changed. This is a special edition of News 8 at 6.
Good evening. It has been a day the people of North Texas would rather forget. A day when so many people are asking, how could it happen here?
We continue our coverage of the Fort Worth church shooting with a look at the lives lost. 8 in all, including the gunman responsible. First, the victims. Cassandra Griffin, 14 years old, a student at North Crowley High School. Joseph D. ENNIS, also 14 years old. He was a freshman at Brewer High School in White Settlement. 17-year-old Justin M. Ray. He attended Southwest High School in Fort Worth. 14-year-old Christy Beckel. 36-year-old Sydney R. Browning was the director of the children's choir at Wedgewood Baptist. 23-year-old Shawn C. Brown was a student at Southwestern Baptist Theological Seminary. He was also a Sunday school teacher at Wedgewood Baptist. 23-year-old Susan Kimberly Jones was also a student at the seminary. And finally, the gunman, 47-year-old Larry Ashbrook. Throughout the day, authorities have gathered new information about Ashbrook. They've discovered he was a loner and appeared to be affected by a recent tragedy in his own life.
Investigators have also spent the day searching the place where it all happened, Wedgewood Baptist Church. Jim Douglas is there now with the latest. Jim?
Scott, right now ATF agents are inside the church trying to meticulously piece together and process this crime scene. There were many witnesses to what happened inside the church, but the tougher question is why it happened. And late today we learned a little bit more about Larry Ashbrook, the gunman who took his own life. We learned that he called the Fort Worth Weekly newspaper about a month ago, obviously in despair, complaining that his father had died and that his back was against the wall. Apparently his father was his sole means of support, but that still doesn't explain why he came here and directed his weapons and his hate against the people of this church.
Quote, this is all in the, they use an expletive, and I can't believe you believe this junk and singing this.
The gunman's home reflected his disturbed state of mind. Investigators found the house in disarray, as if someone had tried to destroy it from the inside out.
The walls had been destroyed in several of the rooms by someone having used what we suspect is a crowbar and a shovel. The toilets had been broken and or cement had been poured in them. The house is in total disarray. Everything's out of order. Nothing very clean, nothing very orderly.
A bizarre scene at the house, apparently, to go with the surreal scene here at the church. We will have much more on Larry Ashbrook coming up just a little bit later in this newscast. Also today, police released the 911 tapes from what happened here. They are, as you might expect, disturbing. Let's listen to just a portion of those tapes now.
Multiple gunshots, lots of people hurt, lots of people down, injured.
Okay, I've got ambulance on the way. How many can you see laying?
I see 2 people laying, but I swear there's probably 25 or 30 shots that have gone on.
Okay, but how many people see that's been shot?
I see 3 people that have been shot.
We need ambulances and we need police, and they're on the way. People have been shot. We need lots of ambulances. How many people have been shot?
He pointed the gun at me and fired it, and I left. Okay.
Okay.
All right. I'll go ahead and update the dispatcher. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Bye-bye. He was clear down the hallway. All I saw was the flash of the muzzle, and then I headed out the other direction. All right. Which way did he go?
I know that they're trying to get her and she needs help.
Okay, we've got an ambulance on the way too, ma'am.
Okay.
We're getting them out there.
Yeah, there's a shooter at Wedgewood Baptist Church.
Are we on our way?
Oh, yes, so they're already on their way. Can you tell where he's been shot?
Looks like he's been shot right in the chest. I can't tell because I don't have a window to look through.
Okay. Can you tell if he's breathing or not?
I cannot tell that or not.
Whether or not just a bit of the 911 tape there, and the scene as it was as the emergency response crews reacted very quickly here. One of the first 911 calls actually came in from an off-duty Fort Worth police officer who was rushing into the church because his wife and his daughter were inside. He said that as soon as he got inside, he heard bam, 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 and he saw a dear friend of his dead right there in the hallway. Much more in this story throughout our newscast. I'm Jim Douglas reporting live from Wedgewood. That's the scene from here now. Back to you.
Jim, it's disturbing to think that we've heard over and over again the children, the students, they're not children, the students in the church were saying they thought this was all part of a skit, and that's one of the reasons they didn't run away.
Yeah, your natural response, of course, in this situation would have been for everyone to scatter, but because they were already in sort of this realm of theater, they thought that this was included, and so they stayed put, and that made it easy for the gunman. There are some reports that it even enraged the gunman, made him that much more angry. So that caused that much greater loss of life here. However, on the other side of that, the Fort Worth police and fire departments say that the response here was so good that from the time of the first calls, the time they first went out, to the time that the last person left the scene was only 29 minutes, just 29 minutes from the time of the call until the wounded were able to all be lifted out of here. So they're pleased with that response, that may have saved some lives.
Yes, very true. Thank you very much, Jim Douglas.
Well, we now know more about the shooter, Larry Ashbrook. News 8 Investigates has learned that Ashbrook's hero was a former death row inmate who left a gruesome trail of victims across North Texas.
Channel 8's Robert Riggs reports on some bone-chilling evidence that's found in Ashbrook's home.
47-year-old Larry Gene Ashbrook fantasized about being one of Tarrant County's most notorious serial killers, according to law enforcement sources. The FBI search of Ashbrook's Fort Worth home found it papered with news clippings and his admiration for Ricky Lee Green. Green was executed last year for the sex mutilation murder of a Fort Worth TV station executive. The FBI search of Ashbrook's house also found more evidence of his rage. Paranoid writings that blamed others for his long list of lost jobs and antisocial behavior. Toilets have been smashed and some filled with concrete. Walls and furniture had been demolished with a crowbar and shovel.
Most of us are, because of our own self-restraint, do not act out in a violent manner against the people that we perceive to show us disrespect or injustice. But certain individuals, when the stressors start building up and building up and building up, this type of violence becomes a relief for them and a release for them.
Former FBI profiler Pete Smerick says a psychological autopsy of Ashbrook's life could yield clues to why he targeted a church full of innocent teenagers. Ashbrook lived in his childhood home with his 85-year-old father who died in July. Fort Worth police say the death might have triggered the mass murder spree.
His father was the person that supported him. That's who he lived with. When the father died, the support pretty much stopped, of course, and he was unable, from our perspective, to hold down a full-time job.
He said, I could shoot anybody I wanted to shoot, and that's what he said.
Neighbors say Ashbrook was a mean-spirited loner. They saw him knock down his elderly father during an argument in the front yard last year.
And he'd shoot us nasty signs and everything, and he'd holler bad words at us. And one time my husband was looking across the street, and he said, "What are you looking at?" My husband said, "I'm just looking." And he comes across the street and he wanted to fight my husband. So my husband just walked back around and come in the house.
Ashbrook came armed with a 9mm semi-automatic Ruger model P85 pistol and a .380 semi-automatic AMT backup model pistol. Investigators found 3 empty 9mm magazines capable of holding a total of 45 bullets on the floor of the church. And 1 magazine was still in the gun. In addition, Ashbrook carried 6 more full 9mm magazines in his coat pockets. Investigators say it appears Ashbrook used the second gun, the .380 AMT, to commit suicide. ATF agents traced Ashbrook's purchase of both guns, made 6 years ago, from dealers at the Traders Village Flea Market in Grand Prairie.
There is no indication that any laws were violated in selling guns to Ashbrook. Fort Worth police say there is no court record of felony crimes or mental problems. But someone who has spoken with Ashbrook's family says he was paranoid schizophrenic and refused to voluntarily go to a mental hospital. Scott, Gloria.
Boy, some astounding revelations
Yes,
here,
indeed.
Robert. What else did police find in Ashbrook's house?
Well, there were newspaper clippings about police misconduct and corrupt politicians, and there were pamphlets that were anti-Freemason and religion. But what twisted logic led to the targeting of a church worship service may never be known. Scott, Gloria.
Okay. Robert Riggs, thank you very much. Well, while an entire community is mourning, our city, state, and nation's leaders today expressed many of the same sentiments that we all have.
It's hard to explain why something such as this happens. It's easy to see how Texans respond. There's a lot of people who care and are on bended knee praying for the people who've been shot.
I recall the statement being made repeatedly, this could happen anywhere. Well, I assure you, as of yesterday evening, anywhere took on a whole new meaning for those of us here in Fort Worth.
Yet again, we have seen a sanctuary violated by gun violence, taking children brimming with faith and promise and hope before their time.
The shooting hit students and faculty of the Southwestern Baptist Theological Seminary especially hard. 3 of the students killed attended or had graduated from the school. Channel 8's Janet St. James joins us now live from the school with more on that. Janet.
Gloria, seminary students and faculty consider themselves a family bound by faith. Well, that family lost 3 members in the shooting and 2 others remain hospitalized. So across campus today, beliefs were being questioned. The only answers came through prayer.
Great is thy faithfulness, a song of strong belief in God. Students and faculty at the Southwestern Baptist Seminary gathered to reaffirm their trust in the Lord despite a heartbreaking loss.
We know that 3 of our colleagues are absent from this body and present with the Lord. Add their name to the long list of martyrs.
Their names, 36-year-old Sidney Browning, 23-year-olds Susan Kimberly Jones and Shawn Brown, were all training to become ministers when they were killed at Wedgewood Baptist Church, God's house. No one here doubts the devil was behind the carnage. The question is why the Almighty didn't stop it.
And we oftentimes ask that question, where was God? And the answer was he was right there. He felt every blow and every shot with him.
16-year-old Willie Johnson believes the gunman's bullets missed him so he could continue to witness to the Lord's power.
He's there. He's alive. And he's there always, and just have to lean on him.
Johnson is sharing his strength with others at the seminary. Every student, every employee here has dedicated their life to the Lord. But even here there are some doubts, voiced by the hundreds today at the counseling center.
Do you feel safe to be able to walk down the streets? Do you feel safe to go places? But now to actually go into a church. And it kind of cross the line to come into God's house.
Answers don't come easily, but people here don't really need any. That's what faith is all about.
Let your light shine through them, Lord, and that we will get through this tragedy, Lord.
The love that we have because of you.
Father, help us to be strong in what we believe.
Thank you, Jesus, and in your triumphant name we pray. Amen. God bless you.
Counselors remain on standby. Anyone who has emotional or spiritual needs is encouraged to call the Walsh Counseling Center at 817-921-8793. Now, folks there say that they're not pushing religion. They just want to help people make it through this tragedy. This is Janet St. James reporting live in Fort Worth. Back to you.
All right, Janet, thank you very much. Many generous North Texans are already helping the shooting victims by giving blood. The Carter Blood Care Center has set up 5 locations in Tarrant County to receive donations. And there's a new blood drive to tell you about, sponsored by KRLD Radio. The drive will be held tomorrow night outside the ballpark in Arlington from 5 until 9 o'clock, and you don't have to have a ticket to go to the game in order to give blood. Well, the shooting and where it took place has shaken our sense of security. Still to come, a look for answers to the question, is any place safe?
And for those of you in search of support, we have set up a Family First support line. A group of counselors is ready to take your call. The number is Metro 972-988-8888. The number again, 972-988-8888. We'll be right back.
In nature, things move for a reason. And if you're talking about the nature-loving Jeep Grand Cherokee, it's moving for some very good reasons. Because along with having more power, luxury, and capability than ever before, you can get a 2-wheel drive 1999 Grand Cherokee Laredo for just $299 a month. So for a great offer on this award-winning vehicle, make your move today, because this is an opportunity you don't want to miss. Check one out at your Jeep dealer.
Laundry's done.
Need a new dryer? Stop by Ward's 14-hour sale, where you can take an extra 10% off all appliances, even on sale prices, plus all furniture is on sale. Save 30 to 50% on apparel, shoes, and accessories, and on home fashions. Ward's 14-hour sale, Saturday only, 8 a.m. to 10 p.m.
You can't shop smarter than Ward's.
See how colorful an Arkansas vacation can be. Get your free vacation planning kit by calling 1-800-NATURAL today.
What's been tested, inspected, injected, poked, prodded, and chased by virtually everyone? Toyota Camry. As the #1 selling car in America, with available features like side impact airbags, anti-lock brakes, and fuel-injected V6 power, Camry stands alone. Toyota Camry, the value is real. Right now, get a real value on Camry with $750 customer cash.
The Black State Employees Association of Texas celebrates their 10th anniversary banquet and awards presentation, Saturday, September 25th at the Fairmount Hotel.
Wouldn't think it ever happened. He's one of our best friends. We were all like brothers, and this happened to him, and just can't, deal with it.
One element of this shooting that really shakes the public conscience is where it took place, inside a church.
For some Fort Worth residents, the world seems a lot more dangerous these days. Channel 8's Doug Fox reports.
Come here. I had to touch people I know.
Church members gather on the sidewalk outside their church to gather strength from each other and from prayer. The first roses arrived at midday, quietly left in a fence. For so many in this quiet middle-class neighborhood, a man with a gun has changed their lives.
The world is getting more unstable now, and you're really not safe anywhere. Wherever you go, there could be trouble. I walk the streets at 6 o'clock in the morning doing my walking. I'm not going to do that anymore.
Dorothy Sayers lives right across the street from the Wedgewood Baptist Church. She and other neighbors worry that if something like this can happen in a church, is there any place that's safe? Do you feel safe?
Not really, not really. It's not safe anywhere else.
Melba and Cecil Strickland have lived next door to the church for 18 years. He's the Crime Watch block captain, has even patrolled the neighborhood. Is there any place safe anymore?
I don't think there is. But they'll blame it on, hey, the fact that guns are too plentiful, whatever.
Knee-jerk reactions to this won't make it stop. One person at a time, working together, will make it happen. Have some forgiveness, I guess, would be, and pray to the Lord that God help us all.
There could be calls for tighter security and more gun controls in the wake of this, but even law enforcement officials say there are limits to what they can do. This city council district hasn't had a murder all year. Besides, what are we as individuals willing to give up for a safer place to live?
You can't live life by building a shelter and hiding yourself from society and from the world. That's not freedom. That's not living.
The minister of music at Wedgewood says faith is what people need now more than anything else. He and his fellow church members know this is the storm before the light.
I really don't know why this would happen. Why did students at Columbine High School go in there and kill their friends? Why did it happen in Paducah, Kentucky? You know, this world is full of evil, but this world is full of good too. And God is still the God that's in control.
It'll make us stronger. It will bring us closer to one another. We'll hold each other tighter and not take each other for granted, I hope, for a long, long time.
Doug Fox, Channel 8 News, Fort Worth.
We'll come back and take a look at weather coming up.
Just a moment.
Quality radio stations throughout North Texas are members of Channel 8's Spirit of Texas radio network.
You can listen to News 8 at 6 on KPLT 1490 Paris.
I'm waiting for my blind date. Please, just let him be different. Someone who's shy and sensitive. Someone who's into Mozart. Somebody who's not afraid to pick a flower. Who has inner beauty. I mean, forget the looks.
The luxurious poem from GS. It's hot.
I gotta go.
See Park Place Lexus, Sewell Lexus, and Sewell Lexus of Fort Worth.
Louis, stand up, s'il vous plaît. Oui, Louis, let us have a look at that lovely chair.
When you want to breathe life into your surroundings, all you need is Haverty's. Shop our founder sale for masterworks of furniture fashion with 12 months, no interest financing.
Ah, Haverty's. But of course.
Hello, honey. Yeah, you wrote down chips, and there's a lot of them. Okay, don't see 2%, but I see there's red. Do you want crunchy or smooth?